Ancient wisdom for modern life, finding your path through daily chaos. I am Isis, she who has guided souls through the labyrinth of earthly existence for millennia. I speak to you not from some distant realm, but as one who understands the weight of daily burdens, the confusion of endless choices, and the exhaustion that comes from trying to navigate a world that seems to change faster than the human heart can adapt. You write to me with questions that echo through time. How do I know if I'm on the right path? Should I stay in this job or take the risk? How do I handle this difficult relationship? Why do I feel so lost when everyone else seems to have it figured out? My beloved ones, these are the same questions that were whispered in my temples thousands of years ago, and I offer you now the same practical wisdom that has guided countless souls before you. First, let me speak to those of you who feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of decisions you must make each day. Your ancestors made perhaps a dozen significant choices in their lifetime. You make dozens before breakfast. This is why the ancient practice of what your scriptures call, "Be still, and know that I am God," Psalm 46 verse 10, is not just spiritual advice, it is survival guidance for the modern soul. Here is your first practical tool: create what I call sacred pause moments throughout your day. When faced with any decision, from what to eat for lunch to whether to respond to that challenging email, pause for 3 conscious breaths. In that pause, ask not, "What should I do?" but "What would love do here?" This simple question cuts through the mental chaos and connects you to the wisdom that never fails. The prophet Isaiah wrote, "Your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30 verse 21. This voice is not mystical, it is practical. It is the voice of your deepest knowing that speaks when you stop long enough to listen. But you must train yourself to recognize it amidst the noise. For those of you struggling with relationships, whether with partners, children, colleagues, or friends, understand this ancient truth: every difficult person in your life is a teacher wearing a disguise. The Sufi master Rumi taught, "Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself." This is not passive acceptance, this is strategic wisdom. When someone triggers your anger or frustration, instead of immediately reacting, ask yourself, what is this situation teaching me about my own boundaries, my own wounds, my own capacity for love? The Buddhist teaching is clear: holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. But I offer you a more practical approach: anger is information. It tells you where your boundaries need to be stronger, where your self-care has been lacking, where you need to speak your truth with more clarity. Here is a concrete relationship tool: the 24-hour rule. When someone does something that upsets you, wait 24 hours before responding. Use that time not to rehearse your grievances, but to ask, what do I actually want from this situation? What outcome would serve everyone's highest good? Then respond from that clarity, not from the heat of reaction. Many of you write to me about feeling stuck in jobs that drain your soul, yet fear prevents you from making changes. The ancient Egyptian principle of Ma'at teaches us that divine order emerges when we align our actions with our deepest values. But this doesn't mean you must quit your job tomorrow. It means you begin taking small, consistent steps toward alignment. Start with this practice: each week, spend 1 hour doing something that feeds your soul. Whether it's learning a skill you're passionate about, volunteering for a cause you believe in, or simply creating something beautiful. This isn't selfish, it's strategic. As you reconnect with what makes you feel alive, opportunities will begin to appear that you couldn't see when you were operating from desperation and fear. The Hermetic principle, as above, so below, means that the external world reflects your internal state. If you want to change your circumstances, begin by changing your relationship with yourself. Stop waiting for permission from others to pursue what matters to you. Stop seeking validation for dreams that set your heart on fire. For those drowning in financial worry, remember that the Bible teaches, "Consider the lilies of the field, they neither toil nor spin, yet even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these." Matthew 6 verses 28 to 29. This is not instruction to be passive about money. It is wisdom about operating from abundance consciousness rather than scarcity fear. Here is practical financial wisdom: instead of focusing on what you lack, each morning write down 3 things you already have that money cannot buy: your health, your relationships, your unique talents. This rewires your brain to see abundance where it actually exists. Then, from that grounded state, take one small action toward improving your financial situation. Apply for one job, save $1, learn one new skill. Consistent small actions from abundance consciousness create miraculous results. For parents overwhelmed by the responsibility of raising children in these chaotic times, remember that your children need your presence more than your perfection. The ancient African proverb teaches, "It takes a village to raise a child," but in your isolated modern world, many of you try to be the entire village yourselves. This is impossible and unnecessary. Your children learn more from watching how you handle stress than from any lecture you give them. They need to see you taking care of yourself, pursuing your own growth, making mistakes and learning from them. The greatest gift you can give your children is the model of an adult who chooses love over fear, growth over stagnation, authenticity over pretense. Here is parenting wisdom that will transform your family. Once a week, ask each family member, including yourself, what's one thing that was hard this week, and what's one thing you're grateful for? This simple practice teaches emotional intelligence, builds connection, and normalizes the human experience of struggle and growth. The ancient Chinese oracle, the I Ching, teaches that change is the only constant, and that wisdom lies in learning to flow with change rather than resist it. When you feel lost or uncertain, remember that these feelings are not signs that you're failing, they are signs that you're growing. Every period of confusion precedes a breakthrough. Every dark night of the soul precedes a new dawn of understanding. For those of you dealing with health challenges, know that healing happens on multiple levels. Yes, seek the best medical care available. But also remember that your body is constantly listening to your thoughts and emotions. The placebo effect proves that belief itself has healing power. Louise Hay taught that every physical symptom carries an emotional message. Hip problems often relate to fear of moving forward. Shoulder pain frequently connects to carrying burdens that aren't yours to carry. Ask your body, what are you trying to tell me? Then listen with the same attention you would give to a dear friend. Often, illness is your soul's way of forcing you to slow down, to reassess your priorities, to remember what truly matters. For all of you struggling with the pace of modern life, remember this: you are not meant to be productive every moment. The ancient Sabbath principle, taking one day of rest each week, is not religious law, it is psychological necessity. Your nervous system requires regular periods of restoration to function optimally. In these final moments, I leave you with the most practical wisdom of all: you already have everything you need to handle whatever life brings you. You may not have all the resources you want, but you have everything you need in this moment to take the next right step. The Cherokee teach that we have 2 wolves within us, one of fear and one of love. The one that wins is the one we feed. Feed the wolf of love with small, daily choices. Choose kindness over righteousness. Choose curiosity over judgment. Choose action over anxiety. Choose gratitude over complaint. These are not grand gestures, they are moment-by-moment decisions that shape the trajectory of your entire life. Trust the path, even when you cannot see where it leads. Trust your heart's wisdom, even when your mind creates doubt. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be to learn what your soul came here to learn. The answers you seek are not outside you, waiting to be discovered. They are within you, waiting to be remembered. So it is spoken, so it is received, so it shall be.